Welcome back to our online class of social science. Today we are going to discuss our third chapter of class 8th in our geography book, that is minerals and power resources. In this chapter we will discuss following points. First of all, this is about the content of the chapter. In this we will discuss introduction of the chapter. In introduction, we will have definition of minerals and power resources, types of minerals, distribution of minerals in different parts of the world and in India. What are the uses of these minerals? What are the steps for the conservation of these minerals? Power resources, glossary, some of the important facts do you know that we will discuss in this chapter. Here we have one slide in which you can see some of the examples of the minerals and the power resources. Here the first example is of iron. You can see one side on the screen that this one is related to iron. These are here on my pointer. Iron rods are shown here. Here it is salt which we are using in our food. That is also a mineral. Solar plates. Nowadays in India, in urban areas, these plates are very common. People they are using for the solar energy. So these are some of the examples of the mineral resources and power resources, mineral and power resources which we are using in our daily life. Coming to our next slide, that is related to some other examples. Here first we have diamond. That is also a mineral found in rocks. Gold, these are also found in the rocks. Coal, generally we are using in our daily life, and firewood, it is commonly used in villages areas. You all will be surprised that pencil which you are using for your homework and for your other daily work, that also has mineral, means that graphite in your pencil, that is also a mineral. So overall we may say that in our daily life we are using minerals in so many ways. Here is the definition of minerals, that how you will define minerals. That a natural occurring substance, means these minerals are natural substances that has a definite chemical composition and physical property, means that chemical composition that is definite. Some minerals are having iron ore, some are non-metallic minerals, some minerals are flexible, some are found in the liquid form. So these all minerals are having their definite chemical composition. Minerals are formed in different types of geological environment under varying conditions of the earth. They are created by natural process without any human interference. As you might have discussed in previous classes, that we have three types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. So generally these minerals are found in these rocks, except few like salt that is found in the water areas. So in the primary rock, which is called igneous rock, most of the minerals which are ferrous, means which are metallic minerals are found in that. Then we have sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. We will discuss in this chapter about other uses of these. Here are some of the examples of minerals which we are using in our daily life, like gold, silver, copper, coal, petroleum, iron, manganese, and salt. These are the minerals which are used by us as a resource. Now, how these minerals are identified? These minerals are identified on the basis of their physical properties, such as their color, as we can identify. Gold can be identified very easily by their density, by their hardness. By hardness, iron is generally used in the hardness. By their chemical property, means these are the four ways by which we can identify any mineral: by their color, by the density, by hardness, and chemical properties. Although on the earth's surface there are approximately 3000 different types of minerals which are found on the earth. Coming to our next slide, here is the classification of minerals on the basis of their composition. Here we have classification of minerals, means we divide minerals on the basis of their composition. Minerals are generally of two types. Here you can see metallic mineral and non-metallic minerals. In metallic minerals, we divide it into two parts: ferrous and non-ferrous. So let's discuss about these minerals step by step. First of all, we will discuss about metallic minerals. Minerals which contain metal in their raw form, means as we see that those minerals which are having metal in them, those minerals are considered as metallic minerals. To understand this, we may say that metallic minerals are of two types. One is ferrous and the second one is non-ferrous. Ferrous minerals are those minerals which contain iron ore, means iron ore is found in these minerals. Generally iron is used. These are hard minerals like manganese. Non-ferrous minerals, it does not contain iron but may contain some other metals like gold, silver, copper, etc. Meanwhile, when we divide these metallic minerals in ferrous and non-ferrous, we can simply understand that minerals which contain iron ore are called ferrous, which are having quantity of iron, and minerals which does not contain iron ore but containing some other metals like gold, silver, copper, these are called non-ferrous minerals. Now we have discussed that metal is found, iron ore metal, contain metal. We discussed in the first line that minerals which contain metal in their own form. So first of all, we have to understand that what is this metal. So metals are hard substances that conduct heat and electricity and have a characteristic luster or shine. For example, this iron ore is a metal. So in simple words, if we say that metallic minerals are having metal in their raw form, and these are of two types, ferrous and non-ferrous. Ferrous, which contain iron ore, non-ferrous, which does not contain iron ore, but these metals are containing gold. These minerals are containing gold, silver, copper, etc. Coming to non-metallic minerals. Non-metallic minerals are those minerals which does not contain metal in their raw form, or these minerals do not contain metals in raw form. For example, limestone, mica, gypsum, coal and petroleum. Here you can see some coal. So this coal, petroleum, limestone, mica, these are non-metallic minerals. Coming to our next slide, that is related to the extraction of minerals. Extraction of minerals, here it refers that how we take these minerals out from the earth's surface. What is the process of taking these minerals out? So first of all, we have three methods of extraction. The first one is mining. Second one is drilling. And the third one is quarrying. These are the three methods of extraction. Extraction means taking out minerals from the earth's surface. Mining is of two types. One is open cast and the second one is shaft mining. So let's discuss about these extraction methods step by step. First of all is the mining. It is a process of taking out minerals from rocks buried under the earth's surface. When we make mining areas, you might have heard that coal mining, iron ore mining. This is the process of taking out minerals from the rocks which are buried under the earth's surface. This is of two types. One is open cast. What is open cast? That minerals that lie at shallow, which are not in deep, shallow depth, are taken out by simply removing the surface layer. This is the open cast mining. You might have seen that JCBs and other machines are used to remove the upper cover of the earth's surface, upper layer of the sand, and these minerals are extracted easily. Second is the shaft mining. In shaft mining, deep bores are made with the use of shaft to reach mineral deposits that lie at great depth. It is generally used for petroleum and natural gases. These are not used for coal and other minerals. Third one is drilling. Drilling is a method in which deep wells are bored to take minerals out from the earth's surface. And the fourth one is quarrying, means minerals that lie near the surface are simply dug out. These are the ways of the extraction of the minerals. Coming to our next slide, about the distribution of minerals. Here, metallic minerals are found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. As I discussed earlier, that there are three types of rocks. Igneous rocks are the primary rocks which are made up by the volcanic eruptions or by the magma or lava. Then metamorphic rocks which are generally becoming because of the extreme heat and pressure. So these metallic minerals which contain metal, may be ferrous or non-ferrous, these are found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Iron ore, that is found in northern Sweden part. Copper and nickel, these deposits are in Canada region in the North American continent. Iron, nickel, chromates and platinum in South Africa are some of the examples which are found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Non-metallic minerals like limestone, these are found in sedimentary rocks. Here one region example is given of Caucasus region of France. Manganese deposits of Georgia and Ukraine, and phosphate beds of Algeria are some of the examples which are found on different parts of the earth. Coal and petroleum, these are found in sedimentary rocks. Here are the regions or the places in the world where these minerals are found. First of all, we discussed about Asia, that in Asia, China and India, these are having large iron ore deposits. This continent produces more than half of world's tin. China, Malaysia, Indonesia, these are among the world's leading tin producers. China also leads in the production of lead, antimony and tungsten. So we can say that Asia has deposits of manganese, bauxite, nickel, zinc and copper. Coming to our next point, that is Europe. It is the leading producer of iron ore in the world, generally in Russia, Ukraine, Sweden and France. These are iron ore mines are found. Mineral deposits of copper, lead, zinc, manganese, these are found in Eastern Europe and European Russia. Coming to the next, North American region. Minerals are located in three zones in North American continent: the Canadian region, Appalachian region and the mountain ranges. So these minerals are found in North America too. Next is Brazil. Brazil is the largest producer of high grade iron ore in the world. Chile, or generally we understand it as Chile, and Peru, these are leading producers of copper. Then coming to Africa. Africa is the world's largest producer of diamonds, gold and platinum. South Africa, Zimbabwe and Zaire produces a large portion of world's gold. Then coming to Australia, largest producer of bauxite, that is found in Australia. It is also leading producer of gold, diamond, iron ore, tin and nickel. Coming to Antarctica, minerals as iron ore, gold, silver and oil that is forecasted in these areas. So you may say that minerals are distributed in most of the continents. Here we have some regions of India where these minerals are found. In India, first of all, we take an example of iron ore. Iron ore deposits are found mainly in Jharkhand, Odisha and Chhattisgarh regions of India. Bauxite that is found in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Mica is found in Jharkhand, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, and India is the largest producer and exporter of mica in the world. Then coming to copper. Copper is found in Rajasthan, MP, Jharkhand and other areas. Coming to next, that is manganese, that is found in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. Limestone that is found in Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. Gold is found in Kolar, in Karnataka and in other regions. And salt is found in seas, oceans, lakes, rocks. And India is the leading producer and exporter of salt in the world. Coming to our next slide about the facts that Switzerland has no known mineral deposits. Means this country is not having any specific mineral deposits in it. Second fact is the green diamond is the rarest diamond in the world. These facts are given in our chapter in Do You Know? The third one is the oldest rocks in the world are in Western Australia. They date from 4,300 million years ago. Although we say that Earth was formed before 4,600 billion years ago. So after 300 million years of the Earth's formation, these rocks were formed. These are in Australia. These are some of the steps of conservation of minerals. How we can conserve these minerals. That minerals may be recycled. The best way is 3R. First one is recycle. Recycle your minerals. Second, reduce the uses of minerals in your daily life. And the third is reuse. Reuse is also another method of resource conservation. Now, let's discuss the uses of minerals in our daily life. Means how we use these minerals. What is the importance of minerals in our daily life? So here we can say that various styles of jewelry which we are wearing as ring, necklace, nose pin, all these jewelry that is made up of minerals, gold, silver, etc. Second one is coins which we are using in our daily life for purchasing items, that is also made up of minerals. third is for gems, which we are using in our rings. These are very costly. These are also minerals. Pipes, which we are using in our houses. Iron ore is used. Iron pipes, these are also used. Computer industry chips, means in computers we use chips in our computers. So that is also a kind of mineral. In automobile and aeroplane industry, we use minerals to make these bodies and machines. In our building also, we use many minerals in the construction work, and our utensils in kitchen, means these cookwares are also made up of minerals. Coming to our important part of this chapter, that is power resources. Here, power resources refers to those resources which are giving us energy, which are used to generate the electricity and energy. So these power resources are of two types. Number one, conventional resources, and the second one is non-conventional resources. As you all know, that power that is used in industries, agriculture, transport, communication, and for our domestic work. So first, let's discuss some other facts of this chapter. First is that Norway was the first country in the world to develop hydroelectricity. Hydroelectricity is generated from the water. It is the process in which dams are used to generate the electricity by the using of turbine machines. Norway, it is the country in Europe that used the first hydroelectricity. The site of world's first solar and wind powered bus shelter is in Scotland. This is also one of the important point. Scotland, Ireland, these are the European nations. The word petroleum, that is derived from the Latin word petra, meaning rock. Oleum means oil. Meanwhile, rock oil. So petroleum means rock oil. Petroleum and its derivatives are called black gold. Petroleum is generally considered as black gold. Next is CNG, compressed natural gas. This is popular eco-friendly automobile fuel as it causes very less pollution than petroleum and diesel. You might have heard that people are using CNG in their vehicles as well as it is used in the houses also for the domestic purpose. Some of the conventional sources of energy are firewood and fossil fuels. In firewood, you may say that it is used in our domestic life. In our daily life, we are using this firewood. And the second one is fossil fuel. So firewood, it is used for cooking in our houses, and you will be surprised to know that 50% of the energy used by the villagers that comes from the firewood. Even during winters we use firewood in our houses. And the second one is fossil fuels, means that has become, this energy is coming from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, here it refers that remains of plants and animals which were buried under the earth for millions of years ago, and they got converted by the heat and pressure into fuel, fossil fuel. So coal, petroleum and natural gas, these are some of the examples of fossil fuels. Here are some facts about the coal which is used as the source of conventional energy, that it is also called a thermal power. As we all know that thermal power stations are using coal as the source for generating electricity. Coal which we are using today was formed millions of years ago. That's why it is referred as buried sunshine. The leading coal producers of the world are China, USA, Germany, Russia, South Africa, France, etc. In India, our coal producing areas are Raniganj, Jharia, Dhanbad, Bokaro in Jharkhand. So these are some of the famous areas of coal producing. Coming to our next slide, that is non-conventional sources of energy. So these non-conventional sources of energy are solar energy, wind energy, nuclear power, geothermal energy, tidal energy and biogas. So if we say first, that is solar energy is generated by the use of solar plates. This is having so many advantages, just like it is inexhaustible source of energy. It is non-polluting source of energy. But there are some disadvantages of this energy also, that this is very expensive. Although government is giving rebate on these solar panels that may be utilized. Then the next one is diffused source, so get wasted. Then the second one is wind energy. Some of the advantages of this wind energy are it is non-polluting. You might have seen some windmills in the coastal areas as well as in those areas where wind is in good speed, especially in Gujarat, Rajasthan regions, Maharashtra regions. It is non-polluting, low cost production of electricity once it is set up in any of the area. It is safe and clean. But the disadvantages of this wind energy is that this is noise, creating noise pollution in that area because of the rotation of those windmills. Windmills costly to set up, these are very costly.